can do the, hey, Tom, you sound different. And then you're like, do I? And we go like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, you're back.
That sounds fun.
So I have to feign enthusiasm.
Good
All right,
bit.
let's take it from the top.
No,
let's take it
don't
from
worry
the
about it.
top.
No.
So Tom,
Moment's
you
passed.
sound different.
Moment's passed.
God damn it.
Moment has passed.
So welcome everyone to the...
It doesn't matter. To start off, you were deciding between like, what, 4 or 5 different movies? And then Sammy Boy here suggested for our return of the
Tomulon.
Yeah, that we watched the sequel that we've been talking about watching.
Yeah.
So this episode we watched...
President Man, A Line in the Sand.
Yeah.
It's sand because it's sand.
So
people.
I would say the first and most jarring thing about this movie, different Thumb Boy.
Different Deek. I was very sad.
They never brought it up.
No, they did not.
You know what I mean? I feel like it would have put us as the audience at ease if they were just like, yeah, we get it. It's not the right guy. I miss him.
He was great.
He was. It looks like if I painted angry eyebrows on my my thumb.
Have I shown you? It's on my knuckles. I'll take a picture of it. The way my like finger bends, I have a little face.
Spitting image.
Oh my God, is he here?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't know if it was supposed to be the same guy until they're like, Deek. I'm like, oh.
Again, one line, just like you're fitting in just fine. Boom. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
We understand he's been training.
Slightly different name, Dick.
Perfect.
Doing good, Dick.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Please don't call me that. All right, Dick.
All right, Dick. You're Dick now. Yeah. Our first nuclear silo, and our hero jumps inside of it, and it immediately turns into a garage with a cone on the ground. And this is our nuclear weapon, of which he puts, like, no joke, a stick of dynamite on and then leaves.
Yeah.
Through the same hole.
It's just 2 doors that you open up wide to jump in the hole.
And it turns out there's a whole paramilitary group with guns. This is West Africa.
That was this
supposedly.
movie.
Yes.
I forgot. I was like, I remember the Great from Later where he cuts it in half. No,
we're talking
There's
about
like
the doors.
16
Yeah,
guys in 3 Jeeps guarding a hole in the ground with a cone in it.
And Quay, the returning female protagonist, is she being helpful?
No, she keeps being like, there's guys on you. And he's like, I know.
Yeah,
I know. And she's like, okay, well, now there's more. And he's like, I'm being shot
As if
at.
it's his
I realized.
fault.
Yeah.
Because at this point, we didn't realize we also hated him. Like, she hates him. So we were like on his side. We're like, well, he's trying his best. Like, what is he going to do? So he jumps over some cars.
Fuck yeah. Oh my God. That's the exact same shot from the first movie. Oh my God. Those cheap fucks.
And then Chuck Norris is in a helicopter for an unrelated reason.
Leisurely helicopter ride.
fine.
Not care in the world. Just like, just a face of just...
Anyway, our hero grabs onto a helicopter ladder and spins wildly while screaming.
Then we get introduced to Chuck Norris's new gig at a different university.
Texas.
He no longer teaches,
At Deadman.
but he also no longer teaches Japanese culture and history.
No.
It is now Islamic culture.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was just like a roving sub, just wherever. And he
Most likely.
he just fits that shit in. Like,
Adjunct professor.
Yeah.
He's a professor for hire. He's not tenured. He doesn't like do research at the university. He just like shows up.
he's a professional babysitter.
We've got
Exactly.
remedial math.
Yeah.
You want to take remedial math? He's like, sure.
Then this one kid comes up to him and starts saying all Middle Easterners and Muslims are all terrorists. So he gives a very impassioned speech to that kid about how, no, that's terrible to assume that.
Yeah.
Well, that kid like walks up to him and he's like, I hate the Browns. And then Chuck is like, man, not all Arabs. Am I right?
So Chuck, in all of his
Boring wisdom.
boring wisdom, says, hey, don't talk about that. And then the rest of the movie proceeds
Well,
to
it
prove
should
the
be-
kid's point.
It should be mentioned that he says a lot of stuff that doesn't sound particularly conservative or Republican. And it should be noted that he has quite the pained look on his face that he has to recite these lines.
It's pretty
Like
great.
they clearly weren't his idea, you know what I mean?
No. Fingernails
All
digging into whatever.
Brownies are not the same.
Okay,
Exactly.
Chuck, you can't say brownies. You got to give me some wiggle room, director.
Fucking Browns. Jesus, Chuck.
But yeah, so we see the president, new guy, same wife.
New president, same wife. I'm pretty sure. Maybe, I don't know.
Do you think presidential sex is better?
Yes.
Like when you get a coffee and like someone did like a little design on the top. Like it's still good. The coffee's the same, but
It's a little extra
a
element.
little extra, yeah,
I
flavor.
don't know, knowing that you can like call out to a Secret Service member and be like, Gatorade seems really good.
Cigarettes! I'm done. You heard us stop.
You actually have an excuse when your wife's like, hey, honey, can you do this? You're like, no, I don't want to. It's like, why? Before, you're just like, I don't know, I'm a lazy fuck. Now you're like, I'm the president.
To be fair, the first lady would never be like, hey, would you do this? She'd be like bring the help over. Like, she's not doing shit either. She's got like a book to read to some children.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then someone comes up to her and is like, a plane hit the Trade Center.
And
Bush is like, the train. He's like, starts sweating.
And then all the brown people gave up their religion and joined the Christian faith. Woo! I gotta go.
I got
What a surreal day for George Bush, by the way.
Yeah.
What bad timing. Like, what would you do? I kind of had, in that very moment, like, the guy was a dumpster fire of a human, but in that moment, I felt sympathy for him, because what do you do?
Yeah, no, exactly.
You, like, close it, tear runs down your face, like, I got a plot of things to do for the next couple of weeks. Or do you keep reading? I would have kept reading.
I would have too. It's a children's book.
straight
You got a
face.
couple pages left, and then you can leave.
If you look at the footage, he's just sitting there. It's like the teacher talking, and then Secret Service comes up. And I don't even know what he said, but I assume it's not like there's a terrorist attack. He's just like, a plane hit the World Trade Center. So
Yeah.
he's not going to like, ah! And like run out.
Exactly.
So he just kind of sits there like, okay, fuck, that sucks.
The
Like,
liberal media is like, why isn't he doing anything? Like, what do you do? Oh my God, kids! So many people just died! They're burning alive! He grabs like Billy and he's just like, ah! Just tears running down his face.
Yeah, exactly.
What did they expect?
So we learned that some terrorists stole some plutonium, and the president's people are like, they're going to use it for a bomb. And
course.
then they show a picture of like our three main bad guys on the TV in the room.
Just make sure it doesn't wind up on American soil.
And we jump immediately to an art gallery of Islam.
I don't
No,
remember
but
that.
they're Buddhist statues.
Yeah.
It was in reference to the Baha'u'llah Buddha or something that the Taliban blew up. Because they're like,
was
it's not our shit, it's their shit. We blew it up because we hate it.
Also, at some point in the movie, they talk about like a terrorist attack on the World Trade Centers.
They did.
But
They did.
I think we were screaming, so we didn't hear if it was the 94 attack or the 2001 attack. Like,
It definitely, from the footage, looked like a real thing.
yeah.
But I don't think it was
I don't think it was
the
real
main
either.
show, if you
No.
will.
Well, again, there was a car bombing there.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I
in,
remember
like,
that. Was
94,
it 94?
something like that.
Yeah, but I think this was supposed to take place in 2001 as well.
that'd be my guess.
When it was
Right.
filmed.
Because they had
So-
to change the name of the
Yes,
movie.
it was called The President's Man Ground Zero, which they could not
Big
use.
oof. Big oof there.
Do you remember after 9/11, there was like a whole list of songs that radio stations weren't allowed to play? That
No.
was like a thing. I can't remember if it came from the government or if it was very like, we shouldn't play these songs because they have references to like buildings falling or. It was a weird time.
it was a
in
weird
America.
time.
Like another one, "Bites the Dust" by Queen couldn't be played. That's like if you're looking under a microscope for any sort of like, oh, I could relate that to 9/11. Like,
Hey, remember how that Radiohead artwork predicted 9/11?
oh Christ.
Well, we did a lot of weird shit after 9/11. Not to be too serious, but like the whole country put up with a lot more crap for a while, and then suddenly it 8 years passed, got boring, and we suddenly stopped caring. But by that point, it was too late, and a lot of shit changed that day,
Pretty much.
and in the next couple of years.
There was an entire classroom of young people that have grown up and been like, I got to see George Bush freak the fuck out 5 feet from me.
That's true.
True.
I was reading about fucking Little Bo Peep or whatever, and then this gentleman like whispered into the George Bush's ear, and then he starts sweating like I've never seen a human sweat before. And there's like a low hum emitting from his body that you can only hear.
Not to get too serious about it, but like if you were in that moment and you just got informed that the most
I
horrible
agree.
thing in the world just happened to our country in like many, many years, in that moment you'd prefer the calm because you know that
The next while.
36 hours are going to be hell on earth, and then the next like 3-4 years of your life are just going to be misery incarnate.
Yeah, I would probably have stayed in that classroom as long as
just,
possible.
Just sit on it and enjoy. Like, this is pre 9/11 right now. This is still.
I'm in the one spot as pre 9/11 right now.
These kids don't know. CNN's in the other room. It's not here ruining this.
I think all of us have had those moments like in college where you're getting your test back that day. You're like, this is pre-August 12th. Like, we're still in this moment where I haven't failed this class.
That's
like,
exactly
let's enjoy
right.
it, baby.
It's like you know you're going to like D-Day, and you're just like, this grass feels nice.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
My wife's picture's really pretty.
I know we're like jumping.
You're just like rubbing the side of your plane like, whoever painted this did a really good job, right?
You're just anything you can get.
We'll get back onto the movie in a second, but do you remember being in the classroom that day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they all the TVs suddenly were shown, like
Yeah.
my teacher stopped class and just turned on the TVs.
Did you?
Why?
No, it happened to me too.
To watch people die?
Yeah,
Do you
the
guys,
news coverage.
Did you guys have Channel 1?
Maybe.
It was like news for like middle schoolers or whatever.
Oh, no.
That's when I found out they did it on a tape delay. Because we came into class and it was all over the TV.
Right.
And it was like freaking out. And then the TV switched to Channel 1. And they clearly tape delayed it because it was these happy fucking 18-year-olds going, guys, Channel 1, all right, it's September 11th. Here's some fun news stories. And we were like, what the fuck?
No.
Yeah. And then the next day they were like, hey, guys, welcome to Channel 1. So
So September 11th, turns out it wasn't too radical.
it was,
We said it was, but we taped a couple of days before.
yeah, it was pretty nuts.
No, they wouldn't show that shit to us.
Oh, no, they
Oh, that was the whole day.
exactly.
Their deaths.
I remember teachers being like, if you want to leave and your parents want to pick you up, that's fine.
Yeah, they were like made an announcement that like we weren't going to be doing the rest of class. And then they just turned on the TVs and just like had us watch the
What the
news.
Yeah, that's what we did.
I mean, that's kind of cool, but
It was not kind of cool.
our
man.
teachers made us do shit still. They were like, well, get back to work.
You weren't there. It's
Like,
fine.
all the kids are talking about it while the teacher's like, 3 + 6, dude. Like,
Come on.
come on.
No, yeah, it was a fucked up day.
I remember I got to go to the bathroom. And then running crying to my mom's classroom. She was a music teacher at my elementary school. And I was like, is Dad going to get drafted? And she's like, he's like 46. He's not going to get drafted. I was like, oh, God, thank you. Oh, sorry.
I remember that too because my dad worked on like the Air Force base or like in a plane facility, and I was like, oh my God, there's going to be more. They're going to target that. It's like he worked in the fucking upholstery division. Like they're not gonna, of all the places in Tucson to bomb, it's not like we got to take out the guys who are building these lovely seats for
Your
these.
dad's pushing 50. He's not getting. What are you doing? Go back to class.
You're more likely to get drafted than your dad.
Right, yeah. She didn't tell me that. Thank God. I would have scared the fuck out of me. I don't know why as a kid, but the idea of a draft scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like one of my biggest irrational fears.
I mean,
it's like, you know how some kids are afraid of dinosaurs? It's like dumb. They don't exist. Unless they're afraid of birds, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
I was afraid of being drafted at like 7.
Well, when you turned 18, you got that thing, right?
Yeah.
I had to sign up for that when I signed up for college. They were like, by signing this, you have to, and I was almost like, fuck you, I'm out. Like,
No.
You just fucking, no hands down, just hit the ground and roll out of the room. You remember, was it, what was this shuttle called?
Challenger.
Was it Challenger? There's another one, though. It started with a C.
one that exploded?
Yeah, but we could see it. It was like over Arizona.
Oh, I don't remember that.
And you could like look up. And
That sounds horrible.
yeah, brutal. It like took off in Texas and like you could see it. It was
Shit.
awful. You don't remember that shit?
I don't think so.
Like everyone walked outside? Okay, never mind.
No,
that's
that's
just
fine.
me then.
Were you doing like Trump, where you're staring at the solar eclipse, being like, I think that, oh yeah, no, that exploded. No, they're all dead.
It wasn't eclipsing the sun.
Okay.
President Man sucked.
End of episode.
We're having more fun talking about 9/11. So
Let's just run through it really quick. I know me saying that, right?
Say.
It's just this movie was just kind of boring and went through like what you'd expect. Break in at the Islam exhibit by the terrorists. They use a laser to cut a hole into the artwork. Oh my god, look at that laser. I love it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Did Tom give you that one?
Because for some reason there's a fucking stick of plutonium in there.
Yeah.
And then they kick them over.
Yeah, that for some reason.
False idols, dude.
And then they go to the the VCR repair shop they
Yeah.
run because,
The-
of course.
The electronics store from Shaun of the Dead.
And then he had like this dude just just typing away at like a not computer, just a brick of
Yeah.
metal. And then
Basketball, they like spray painted silver.
yeah, and
basically.
then he was like, "Okay, plutonium's armed." And the guy was like, "Good." It's like
Sweet, dude.
Yeah, and then they had this conversation. He's like, "How did you learn how to do that?" He's like, "I lived in Chicago. I walked around the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You pick this stuff up." So then there's like this weird scene where the dude gets like super serious. He's like, "America hasn't changed. You has it. You've been here for 10 years." The guy's like, no. That's it. That's the whole scene.
Yeah, and then it turns out that guy had better resolve than
It's true.
the dude hazing
So,
him.
President, I guess, finds out where Bane, like, Osama is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he live streamed him a video.
Yeah. I don't know how you live stream through a VHS, but
He did it, and it was impressive. And then,
no Sama. No?
good one.
Trying to think of anything.
No Sama Boo Laden.
Oh, and he brought it around.
Yeah.
So
You,
no
you made it
song.
longer and worse. Thanks.
Perfect.
That's what women say about my dick. Oh, wow, you made it longer and
Worse.
worse. So they bomb him.
Oh my God.
All right, you got me back. I'm good. Oh, my God.
For stock explosions mixed with real footage of actual F-16s
Yep.
dropping horrible explosives on brown people.
It's true. And then they shoot down and kill the fighter pilot.
What? Is that the Challenger? Oh, that's adorable.
They have the fucking helmet. And then they just hold up the fighter helmet and they're like, yeah, we killed them.
We did it. We lost 19 of our gentlemen, but we kind of
Exactly.
got one of them.
Welcome to the conflicts in Iraq and
seriously.
Afghanistan, unfortunately.
So I guess the president finds out, like, oh, fuck, we killed 20 of them, but they got one of us. It's time to call Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
And Chuck Norris goes, I'm not going. Send fucking Dick. And he's like, my name's Deek.
Yeah, my name's
He's like, all right, you're going to Afghanistan, Dick. And I think all of us were thinking, like, oh, he's going to go in and get captured. And then Chuck has to go.
Not what happened.
No.
Mission went off without a hitch.
It's the exact
Yep.
same. Oh, my
Oh,
God.
yeah,
They're just
it
going
is.
to dim it.
Yep.
Oh, my God. I love it.
They just
You fucking assholes. You know, the Kung Fu Taliban.
Kung Fu Band.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
Christ.
don't do that.
An absolute unbridled success with
true.
no hiccups.
Well, one slight hiccup with the jetpack.
Yes, the jetpack,
Didn't start for like 5 extra seconds, and then it worked perfectly.
It was essentially like trying to teach your dad how to double click. You're like, no, you click twice. No, you got to do it faster than
faster.
No,
that was too fast.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you held it down.
Yeah, exactly. And then he gets in and you go, cool, you got it.
I'm clicking.
And then he used his parachute that went up.
Yeah.
And then we got footage from President's Man 1 of the dummy woman clinging to Chuck
Yep.
Norris,
Oh, it
even
was
though
great.
it's a different character and a different way that the man is
Oh
being
yeah,
held to him.
he kidnaps Fuhad or whatever that guy's name is.
Yup.
No Obama.
Yeah, no Obama.
Negan. It's Negan from Walking
He
Dead.
kidnaps
Nogan.
Nogan.
Oh my
All right.
God.
Kidnaps Nogan, drops him in the ocean. A bunch of submarine people
Submarine people.
yeah,
pick him up.
crawl out of the sea. and-
More stock footage of the thing breaching, and then all of a sudden it has a giant fucking American flag on it.
Yeah.
That wasn't there 3
that
seconds
survived
ago.
that breach, that violent breach from the water.
But the next confusing scene was when the dude had a lawyer.
Yeah, it's the interrogation, and for some reason he has a lawyer. I don't think that's how that works.
The terrorist leader is just in some holding cell in some, like, I don't know where, and he just has a lawyer that they give him.
It's the set from Law and Order.
Definitely.
Yeah. And there's a cop from Law and Order. And he's like, Jesus. And the Arab guy's like, Muhammad. And he's like, God.
I just was very confused because the lawyer's like, my client doesn't like the fact that you kidnapped him. It's like, you would not have this man as a client.
Right, yeah, like you don't,
Yeah.
like, what defense attorney's office would be like, oh yeah, the international terrorist? We'll take that one.
Yeah, we got him.
We got that one in the bag. Oh, what's that? You have recordings of him threatening to blow up an American state? Fine.
Yeah, Schuster and Shaw. We'll take, international terrorists.
So they go to make a deal, and he's like, no deal. And then the moment he stands up, he goes, hey, deal. Yeah, I'll go on
Let
TV.
me give a live broadcast because I'm not going to tell you where the bomb is, but my followers will be listening.
And we called that like we did in The Elite, where he's like, take this gun and kill him, and we were all screaming, there's no bullets in that gun.
Yeah.
And then when he's like, I'll go on TV, we're like, he's going to give a coded message.
Yeah.
And then everyone in the movie acts surprised when he gives a coded message.
Yeah.
And we're like, all
Yeah,
right.
and my favorite part, though, of the code message was when we watch it, like everyone watching the speech, and then we go back to the fucking back room of the VCR shop, and it's like his son and the dude that armed the plutonium, and the dude that armed plutonium is like, he wants us to go to Dallas and plant it. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
holy
yeah.
shit.
And then Chuck is like, they're going to Dallas, they're going to plant it. Like,
Chuck
fuck?
right after, like, figures it out.
Yeah. Again, my theory is that he had a planned message for every city in the United States. So, like, if it was Tucson, it would have been like, don't be as cold as the prickly cactus in my heart. And they like have a big book and they're like flipping through it. Tucson, Arizona. Okay, yeah.
The light of God is really, really hot.
San Diego. That's where it is. Yeah.
So there's a weird scene where Dick and Chuck Norris just go to Chicago.
Yeah. Just to Geiger counter the thing. Like, oh, yeah, plutonium was here.
That's it. That's the whole point
That's
of
the entire scene.
Definitely here. Hey, guess what? Not here anymore.
Used to be here.
Yeah.
Just like pre 9/11 and post 9/11, there was pre plutonium and post plutonium.
Yeah, exactly.
We're living in a post plutonium.
Post-plutonium world.
Yeah,
Chuck Norris
sucks.
Sucks. Yeah.
sucks. Who's a celebrity that's died recently that you were like, oh, thank God?
Oh, no.
Michael Jackson?
That wasn't
It wasn't
recently.
recently.
10
true,
years
it was a
ago.
while ago.
Jesus Christ, we're getting
I
old.
know. Like if OJ died,
No one would care.
He's around the corner, man. He just turned 72.
I think he sucked the power out of the people he murdered, so he's going to live until like 135.
That's true.
So we've got, 46 more years of just OJ making awkward Twitter videos.
Exactly.
Whatever the next like Twitter, Instagram is.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me, OJ. I'm on Gloop Gloop.
Hey, you guys check out my TikToks? I mouthed some Michael Jackson lyrics. Man, I love that dude.
Y'all just figured out Fortnite? Here, check this shit out.
He does it like wrong.
That'd be so good. That'd be a good video. So we go to Dallas, the terrorist
The crown
son
jewel
of America.
of America.
If Dallas were to blow up, it would ruin Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely convinced there would be anyone to miss Dallas. Because I think anyone who cares about Dallas has lived, reproduced, and died in Dallas, Texas.
Mark Cuban owns the Dallas Mavericks, but I think he flies in for games.
Yeah.
The moment the last buzzer sounds, Chuck Norris on a helicopter flies in. Cuban grabs the ladder and they fucking get him out of Dallas.
Exactly.
No, Chuck Norris would go down with Dallas.
Yes.
Clearly, he's a fan. Because he made it the important city that we're all going to miss in his stupid action
Dumb
movie.
Because he did executive produce
He did.
it
Yeah.
with his brother Aaron Norris. That sounds
his
like
brother?
Aaron.
Okay.
Aaron Norris. I think so. Or like Dave Norris or something
Good.
like that. Dylan Norris.
Dylan Norris. Oof.
So I really like
Kyle Norris.
Kyle Norris is a good one. I liked when the
Douglas Norris.
Yep.
Ooh, Bryce Norris.
Ooh, I like it.
Ah, such a horrible white guy name.
I liked when the terrorist son is like, hey,
Brad
we're not gonna follow.
Norris.
God damn it. So they set the bomb timer for 21 hours because the terrorist son is like, I'm gonna save my dad. And the guy that's made the bomb is like, he told us not to.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't
Well,
give a fuck.
Yeah.
Well, because he wanted to be a martyr.
Yeah.
It's like important or something.
But dipshit son won't let his dad die.
Not very cool.
not very cool.
No. Fuck that
Pretty
shit.
anti-Allah move there.
Yep. So Chuck Norris and Deek backflip into the oil
Well,
place.
it should be mentioned that the guy that the son of the main bad guy jeered in the beginning of like, hey, you cool? You with us? Was like, hey, we should just set this fucker off. Like, I can't wait to go to God. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
exactly.
great.
That guy was like,
And he's like, no, I'm going to save my dad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in charge. I'm going to save my dad. And the guy's like,
oh no.
turns out to be the one that's all in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
$4,000. There you go. Put it on black. Sir, this is a slot machine. But anyway, he succeeds because
He
the gun
does,
guy, because Chuck and
Deek.
Dick.
fuckboy break in and karate kung fu a bunch of karate
A lot of people.
Arabs.
And set one of them on fire.
He does.
So he's like, I'm going to take this opportunity now that the one guard is not meekly pushing me away with his gun to make the bomb for like, no, all he does is like speed it up.
Yeah, that's all he does. And then Chuck Norris sees him and kicks in the door and then is like, leave. And then he sits down in front of it and starts like typing with like, one finger each typing.
Yeah, old man typing.
He gets out his readers to
Yeah.
look at the keyboard.
And then the man who sped up the bomb.
Comes back with a gun, but instead of shooting Chuck Norris the minute he saw him, runs into the room and is like, I have a gun! And then Chuck Norris is like, bang, 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 bang.
And then we get the not intense scene of Quay being like, you need to shut it off, otherwise it'll explode. And then it doesn't.
It doesn't. And he just walks in to where Chuck is like typing away, and he like stands over him and he like tries to get
He's
something
like
out of
cleaning
his teeth.
shit out of his teeth.
Yeah,
and
with his tongue.
wiping
Like,
drool off of his face. Like
Yeah.
And then Chuck starts cutting wires.
and it stops. And that restarts.
That was like comedy timing. That was great.
And then Chuck just cuts like two more wires.
It's the only time in the movie where Chuck Norris's face shows anything resembling what I call a human emotion.
Because it was the only time in both movies that he ever failed. It was the only failure. And Chuck Norris in real life couldn't handle that. So he actually showed emotion.
I have a theory that they didn't tell Norris that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, that is the take where they were like, all right, he clips it, and the director's like, all right, turn it back on. And he turns it on, and Chuck shows 3% of a human reaction, like, that's not what that's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then they cut, and they're like, okay, so here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna cut it again. And Chuck's like, okay, I don't care, whatever. So bombs defused, everything's cool. They're transporting Nobama. Similar, am I right?
Yeah, you said no Obama earlier, both of you.
Really?
Yeah.
Same
Yep.
person, right?
Sure.
Trump. So they're transporting him, and they don't know the bomb's diffused, so they're just like, haha, bitches. And then their like team shows up and kills all the American transporter
FBI
people.
agents, they say.
Yeah. And then Chuck and Dick show up.
Just roll up.
Yeah.
Just step out of the car and just start shooting motherfuckers.
kill all those guys. And then, a little behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff I cut out of things you say where you're over exaggerating of like, and then he cracks him like a whip, but Dick literally grabs the dude and like cracks him like a whip over
he
his
does.
head.
shit! Oh my god! And then Chuck Norris kicks the guy so fucking hard.
It was turned off.
Oh my shit! Holy!
Which is the second time because Dick kicks the dude and he goes flying like 12 feet back, takes
Yeah.
the legs out from another guy.
Yeah,
if your
so-
kicks are that powerful, just kick. Just kick every
Oh,
time.
yeah, every time.
Duct tape your hands in front of you and just kick.
Yeah.
And then they just tie the guys to the tree.
And now the Dallas PD are gonna pick up international terrorists.
Yeah.
What the fuck do we even do with these guys? Whose jurisdiction is this?
Then it's just the president being like, we did it.
It cuts to them. It could be seconds, hours, days. It literally any other time later, and they're playing chess. And Dick is like, haha, booyah, bitch. And Chuck has like 3 times as many pieces on the board.
Dick's got like 4 pawns left.
Yeah, and the
Chuck's
king, and that's
like,
it.
checkmate?
And then again, we got another mission, and they were like, haha, President's Man 3, and then we can't do another President's Man.
Yeah, we cannot do another one of these. Please, God, no. That's it.
That's the movie.
That was the movie.
God, we were so excited to watch this.
Was it a worthy sequel, everyone?
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't too bad. I miss Thumb.
Yeah.
Thumb was
Yeah.
great. There's good spikes in it, but there's a lot more dull, boring shit in this one. Than
Yeah, we
Yeah.
forgot to mention
Watch.
Quay's hit single.
Oh my God, the music! Holy shit!
And I think we theorized that the girl from Kung Pao, that was her. Yeah, her
God, I would have been so sad if we didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you that there were some high peaks, but the first one, I think the reason it held us for longer was that it was like 3-4 different movies. Like
That, yeah,
it
that
was like vignetted. There was like a movie and it had a conclusion, a movie and it had a
Yep.
conclusion. So every 15 minutes there was like new shit
Yeah.
to look at, and it doesn't have the fun of like training up.
Yeah, the only one that happens is the blindfolded ball scene. And
Right, and as for much as of a dumpster human that Chuck Norris
that
is
had
in
no
real
payoff.
life,
It had no payoff.
it had no payoff.
Yep.
I don't know, Kevin. What do you give it?
I'll give it like 55 cents. Almost there, but it's fine.
I was pretty frustrated, especially in the beginning for some reason. I hated a lot of it, but it did start to pick up toward the end. I think I'm with you, Kev. I'm going to say like 45, 50 cents. There were enough good, funny, bad moments. There were enough.
Yeah. Like a 3-minute supercut of this movie would be really fucking enjoyable.
Yeah.
Of just
so
the fun stuff.
45 cents for me.
Okay.
I mean, I was really looking forward to this one.
I mean,
I think
you
we
picked
all
it.
were.
Yeah.
we all were.
But it didn't really hold up for me. I liked the insanely powerful kicks.
Yeah.
Those were fun. And just leaving the terrorists handcuffed to a tree. So I have like 66, like 40 something.
Okay. That's a shame. I was
Well,
really
that's
looking forward to that one.
P-Man 2.
P-Man 2.
Ground Zero.
They should have named the new dick P-Man 2. P-Man 2. Throw the switch.
That would have been really good. Good to be back.
I gotta take a fucking piss, dude.